Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm just gonna get straight into this because I've had a very controversial video on Instagram that alarmed me a little bit and made me to make this video. And the topic of the reel is basically whether dogs like to be hugged or kissed or not. In the video I mentioned that dogs don't like to be hugged or kissed. And what I'm talking about is on the general basis of dogs and who dogs are to their core nature. So if a dog is found in nature, they don't register hugs and kisses the same ways as humans do. On default, humans show love and affection in a different way that dogs do. And because of that, we want to show them love, so we kiss them or hug them. Some dogs get to tolerate it because they get to understand that, all right, this is the way that my human is showing me affection, and they get to like it, even some. But on a general basis, most dogs do not like it. Why? Because in the nature, them being kissed or hugged is actually not a sign of love. It's whether constraining or it's intimidating for them. So it's not so black and white that your dog would not like it or would like it. It's more like you have to check out and screen their body language in order to know whether they would enjoy doing this or not. Because the worst thing that we want to do as dog parents, dog owners or companions or guardians or whatever it is that suits you, is to do something to them that's good for us and we think is good, and they don't register that as good. Because over time, this is going to ruin your relationship. And over time, in some cases, going to lead towards bites because they have given you all the signals that they're uncomfortable with this and you keep doing this, and it's never going to end up good in any situation. Just to give you a simple analogy, just think about you and your way of loving. It could be you putting a finger in someone's nose, and you do that to your kid. It's going to be super weird for your kid to get used to that. But then over time, he gets used to the fact that anytime you put your finger in their nose, it means that you love them. It's going to be a weird feeling for them, but they're going to understand, all right, this is the thing. And some of them may enjoy it and most of them won't enjoy it. And it's a very simple thing to understand. And I've been going back and forth with a lot of people on the comment section. What I really don't understand is when people say, I just watched this video and I ran to my dog and I just kissed my dog and I just hugged them. Sure, do that if that's your way of dealing with this information, because all it takes is a simple Google. Here it is. Do dogs like to be hugged? Experts in dog behavior believe that in general, dogs do not like being embraced. It's really that simple. All right, let's check another source. AKC, should you give your dog hugs? Dogs don't like hugs. Do dogs know what a hug is? Dogs don't really understand hugs the way we do. Do dogs like being cuddled? It really depends on how you define it. You mean the tight embrace with your arms wraps around them, then no, your dog won't enjoy it. However, if most of us cuddle, if it's lying on the sofa and letting our dog lie beside us, or sitting on a chair, or having our dogs curl up in our laps, that's sort of a completely different story, and that's something that dogs do enjoy. Why you usually shouldn't hug dogs? As a rule, you shouldn't go around hugging dogs with no regard for their preferences. Hugging, as we know, is a very human gesture. Looking at a hug from a dog's point of view, it's easy to see why it can be unwelcome. For those who aren't sure of what a dog wants, skipping hugs is the safest route. If you don't know a dog well, you're not risking anything by not hugging them. Plenty of dogs dislike hugs, especially from strangers, and live fulfilling hug-free lives. Their needs for affection and quality time is satisfied by tug of war, scratches behind the ear, strokes beneath the chin, or whatever else they happen to prefer. Numerous experts like Dr. Stanley Cohen agree that hugging can often have unintended consequences. In a blog post making the argument that you shouldn't wrap your arms around a pup, Dr. Cohen cites his studies of online photos displaying dogs being hugged. More than 80% of them, he writes, showed at least one sign of discomfort, stress, or anxiety. Among them, half-moon eyes, which is basically whale eye, a lower tail lip licking, and an effort to turn away from the hugger. Other clues that a dog is having a bad experience include slick back ears, yawning, and raising one paw. An agitated dog could also tuck their tail, pant, or become rigid. If you hear growling or see your dog's bare teeth, chances are they're very upset and might even bite you. Be open to the possibility that you don't always decipher a dog's signals correctly. Research has found that many people misread canine body language. In this case, the scientists said that dog owners were worse than people without dogs at identifying their anxiety and stress. And here are the statistics for it. And they basically took 250 photos online and they did an analysis on it. So they had the data divided between 3 groups: one or more stress sign, one or more sign of positive effect, or neutral or ambitious emotional signs, both positive and negative, otherwise unscorable. So the number of observations have been 250, and number of showing stress has been 200. So it says it all there. That means around 80% of the cases showed some signs of stress. And another thing that's very important for us to understand is reading the dog's body language, right? So because when they are licking your face, it could mean a few different things. It could be appeasement licking, or it could be muzzle nudging, or it could be just them licking and tasting your face, and so many other reasons dogs lick. So you got to basically learn to screen your dog's behavior before you make a decision here, or at least do a simple research. If your dog's sense of well-being is important to you and it's not just something that you have to do for yourself, then you got to check out for these signals. If they're stiff, if they're turning their head away, if they show you whale eyes, which is basically you seeing most of the white of their eyes, or if they have ears lowered, which to be honest with you, this could be a form of submission, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just remember, dog's body language is very much context based, and you also have to check every other thing next to it, and not just one thing that they show in their body should be screened, but also every other thing in accordance with that. So for example, wagging tail, depending on how the ears are, or a wagging tail doesn't necessarily mean a happy dog. It could mean excitement, it could be aroused, it could be a lot of things. So lowered ears is one of those. Tucked tail is a very obvious one. Yawns could be a sign of exhaustion or distress in dogs. Nose licks or lip licks or appeasement licking is a sign your dog does when he wants to say that I need more space, or I'm uncomfortable, or so on. A lot of humans just take this body signal in a different way, and they assume because they're licking it's a form of kisses, but it is not. If it's muzzle nudging, it's a different story, which is when your dog just goes for your lips and kisses your face. And this is a signal that wolf cubs do in order to induce regurgitation by their parents so they could eat. That's basically where it comes from. However, dogs don't do this anymore, but they do muzzle nudging as a form of submission, as a form of, all right, I have no danger for you, and as a form of friendliness sometimes as well. So it could mean that as well. So muzzle nudging is very different to them showing lip licks. I'm just going to show you a video, and I'm just going to basically break down dog's behavior, and I'm going to tell you if a dog is actually into what the owner is doing or not. All right, I'm just going to show you a few examples here. So that's an example of a veil eye right here. You can see that means that I just didn't really like what you did there, and it's very cute, so we think it's a cute thing, but for a dog it just doesn't really mean what it looks like to us. Continuing with this, did you see that little lip lick over there? That's also a sign of discomfort right there. So that's a lip lick, that's not kissing. All right, another one, kiss. Dog is like, absolutely not, I'm out of here. So here you can see, in this case, the dog is slightly moving away. It's not too much because it has learned to tolerate it, but it still has this little shift away. So that's a very clear sign that the dog didn't like what you did there. Here, another example right here. See, the person goes for a kiss, the dog pulls away. So that is muzzle nudging. That means I have zero threat here. I'm just being submissive. I'm just being friendly. All right, so you can see this dog came closer as the owner kissed it. So this is a case that you can say, all right, the dog actually enjoys it. If you guys want to know how to actually love your dog in a way that they also assume what love is, then make sure to check out this video. There you go, guys. I'm very open to also learn and update my knowledge. So if you guys have any other information or any other studies that suggest otherwise, I'm very much looking forward to receive them from you, because I've also had chats with people under the comment section, and somebody told me that they're a researcher and this is BS and this is nonsense, and I basically linked them towards the studies that I found, and I asked her kindly to show me the studies, and she disappeared. I think what I'm going to leave you guys in the end with this is that when it comes to loving your dog, the question you want to be asking yourself is whether your dog's welfare is important for you or not, and whether this is just for your own sake or for your dog. Or in a better way to say this, do you love your dog for your sake, or do you love them for their sake too? Alright everybody, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this video brought a little bit of clarity in this very muddy area. And yeah, have fun with your dogs and love them as much as you want, but make sure that they also perceive it as love. All right, see you in the next one.